Now let's learn about why scholars are even interested in studying the history of psychology. Years ago, in 1908, Erwin Ebbinghaus wrote that the field has a long past but a short history. The things that we study in psychology were originally studied from a philosophical standpoint by the ancient philosophers. The field was only recently established in 1879 when Wilhelm Wundt created the first experimental psychology lab. So the field has roots in ideas that were formed thousands of years ago, but the field was only officially established 150 years ago. Psychology comes from two fields. It's a combination of philosophy and physiology. In the next video, we will learn about the influences of philosophy, and in week 3, we'll learn about the influences of physiology. By the time we get to week 4 and we learn about the beginning of psychology in the 1800s, by the time we get to that point, it will be obvious how these two fields, philosophy and physiology, how they combined to create psychology. It's a very interesting story. Historians also argue that studying history, studying the past, helps us understand both the present and make a plan for the future. When we understand a theorist's life, the context in which they lived, their personal qualities, the things that drive them, we sometimes get a better understanding of why they developed the theory that they developed. Understanding how a field like psychology evolves over time also allows us to identify truly unique ideas. It also provides this unique shared understanding among psychologists. One of the most famous historians of psychology is Edwin Boring. And this is what he had to say about the importance of understanding where the field has been. This last statement here, I think, says a lot. Here's another quote from someone that you might be more familiar with, Michael Crichton. He's a famous author. He wrote the book that the movie Jurassic Park is based on. I think this quote sums up this particular argument, the argument that the past is important to the future. But not everyone agrees with Boring and Crichton. Some experts caution that the past is way too different from the future to be of any use to us now. Others will point to the limitations of studying history of any topic, any field. We'll cover some of those in the next few slides. Other scholars will point to the limitations of studying history, and not just the history of psychology, but really the history of any topic. There are limitations, and some argue that those limitations make the studying of a history irrelevant.